Michael Avenatti, the attorney representing adult film star Stormy Daniels, is defending himself after he released the financial records of President Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen. He says that he was protected by the First Amendment. The published documents released just last week detailed payments by several corporations who paid Cohen for insight into the president. The release also claimed that the $130,000 paid to Daniels were from a company named Essential Consultants. CBS News Washington correspondent Paula Reid joins me now from the White House North Lawn. Paula, so what's Avenatti's defense to this latest week's bombshell release?
Well, he's arguing that this release was protected by the First Amendment. He says that he is publishing information about an issue of public concern. He also says, look, if there were any mistakes in this, the majority of these contributions to Mr. Cohen have been confirmed by the companies that made them. Many of these companies, including AT&T and Novartis, they've come out and admitted they made these contributions to Mr. Cohen in exchange for consulting services, and that they now believe that was a mistake. And Avenatti still wants to be part of Mr. Cohen's criminal investigation in New York, saying that he should be able to participate because his client, adult film star Stormy Daniels, her agreement with Cohen is part of the evidence that has been seized by the Justice Department in that case.
So, Paula, ultimately, what exactly is Cohen arguing here?
Well, Cohen's arguing that Mr. Avenatti published information that he could not have legally obtained. He also points to the fact that many of these documents, they included money that was paid to a different Michael Cohen. But as I said before, the majority of the money that he received, that has actually been confirmed by the company, though it does appear there were some smaller amounts that were misattributed to Mr. Cohen. And his attorneys argue that Mr. Avenatti's conduct is so, quote, egregious that he should not be allowed to participate in this case in New York.
Do you think this will impact the Stormy Daniels case?
It's possible because these two men are going back and forth in a separate case. In addition to the criminal investigation in New York, they have a civil case in California where Ms. Daniels, she's challenging this non-disclosure agreement that she negotiated with Mr. Cohen to stay quiet about her alleged affair with the president. Now that case has been impacted because so far it's sort of been delayed until we have more information, until there's more resolved in this New York investigation. But Rena, it's never really good when your client is the one getting all the headlines. Usually you want your lawyer to be discreet and really focus on getting a legal victory. But here you have an adult film star and a high-profile litigator, so it is possible that for them just getting the attention, all the notoriety, that is perhaps more important than a legal victory.
It's so interesting to hear you say that because Avenatti really has a take-no-prisoners approach. He's aggressive with his media campaign against the president. You see him everywhere. Do you think he's using Trump tactics to try and damage Trump's own credibility?
It's very similar. It's sort of people who specialize in this dark art of going onto Twitter, attacking people, perhaps making claims that extend beyond the actual facts in the record. And of course, as you noted, he's on television all the time. It does seem that he's using some of the same tactics that the president has employed here in the White House, and certainly that he employed during his previous life as a businessman and reality TV star. But it remains to be seen whether or not Mr. Avenatti is able to directly affect the president. But so far, this has certainly had an impact on Mr. Cohen. Not only is he the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation in New York, but Mr. Avenatti has been able to expand that and really teach us a lot about how much money Mr. Cohen was paid in the days around the election. And so far, Rena, no one has been able to really explain what specifically Mr. Cohen did in exchange for the hundreds of thousands of dollars he received from these companies. And Congress has some questions about that.
Interesting. Clearly not the end. Paula Reid, thank you for joining us from the White House.